Draw one action from the 2024 Under-18 Canadian Curling Championships. I'm Darren McEwen alongside Andrew Denny for Draw One Action, and we have a good one in store. It's the Battle of Ontario. Northern Ontario will take on Team Ontario number 2 inside the RA Centre in Ottawa. Andrew, we're in for a great match to start things off for this championship.
Without a doubt, and an early morning start for both these teams, and undoubtedly both of them are going to have some lofty aspirations as this week progresses.
We saw the draw to the button just a few moments ago from both the teams. Ontario team number 2 doing very well in theirs, pinning basically I think the second one and being in the close to the button for their first one. So by virtue of that, they will have the hammer to start with throwing yellow stones. But to get things underway, it is the team from the Horn Granite Curling Club in New Liskeard, and the lead is Felix Bonin Descharmes.
Great town, New Liskeard. They used to host a summer spiel.
Yeah, about 2 hours north of North Bay, and this is this team's first national appearance. They were telling us before the event they're very excited and proud to represent the Horn Granite.
We're curious to see how the performance is in these first couple ends there for the rookies, just in case, you know, your first national championship. There's always a little bit of butterflies, but I think these boys will be ready.
See that one slip just a little deep.
Not the end of the world. In this case, Ontario's probably just going to hit it and try and run them up and down. We're scheduled for 8 ends in this particular match, as we are all week.
First look here of Cole O'Connor, the lead for Ontario Team 2. It is a loud arena here to start with, Andrew, at the RA Centre. I would say terrible at crowd estimates, but what, a couple hundred fans in attendance? Maybe 100?
Yeah, the capacity in this building is 500 as far as fans go, and there aren't too many open seats there, so we'll call it 499.
Yeah, doesn't hurt that one of the teams here competing this morning is from just down the road at the Rideau Curling Club. Some of those participants on Ontario number 2 may have had less of a commute to get to this event than to their home club.
4 kilometers up the road, I believe, just off Bronson. So definitely close proximity and home ice advantage belonging to Ontario too, but we'll see if that manifests into anything extra.
This event featuring 21 female and 21 male teams, and split between here the RA Centre and over at the Ottawa Hunt and Golf Club, where they're using, I believe it is 4 sheets for that, so teams will rotate between the 2 venues.
Gorgeous club, the Ottawa Hunt Golf Club, and they're sending a team to the Scotties Tournament of Heart this year, and by way of Team Danielle Inglis. Congratulations to them. Okay. This rock's over curling. Looks like the hit attempt may have been a hair quiet. Plenty of curl in this sheet as well, so it's an easy way to have your rocks over curl a smidge.
We talked about the upcoming Scotties Tournament of Hearts. A name we're going to see there is Fleury, and believe it or not, Landon Fleury, the second on Team Northern Ontario, is no relation to Tracy Fleury, but Landon, just about to throw this rock here, said Tracy is someone he's looked up to throughout his career.
Definitely someone you want to look up to. Tracy, one of the best pure shooters in the game. It's going to be a challenge for communication for a lot of these young teams, too, to play in this arena setting with a loud venue, plenty of fans in the stands. So that's going to test these young curlers early.
Fortunate to have mics on all of the players out on the ice today, and we also have the coaches mic'd up, and we'll probably see a lot of their activity throughout this event. If you're new to watching under 18 or under 21 events in the last couple of years, there's coach interactions, Andrew, and those are a little bit different than when you and I were playing at this level or at this age. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so each team is going to get a 1-minute interaction per end should they choose to use it. It'll stop their thinking time. And what it does is it allows both teams to confer with their coaches on a situation or some strategy, or even just to settle everybody down. Either way, you have rights to it, and you don't have to use it, but you're welcome to it. And it's a fairly new implementation that Curling Canada is bringing into the development championships, we'll call them, since this is a youth event. It is a development event. And last year we saw it in Timmins, and it was quite successful. A lot of the coaches liked it, as well as a lot of the players.
As we see Landon Fleury with the hit and stick there.
Ontario's hammer here. They're going to have to make something happen here. They're going to need a double to get out of this with a blank.
Ty McCutcheon with his second stone of the end.
Big snap in this ice as well, so see if this comes back.
Might get the double the other way.
That'd be cheeky.
Ooh. Makes contact, removes the stone. We see those two coaches there at the back. Sierra Sutherland is the coach for Ontario 2, and Jeremy Landry is the Northern Ontario coach. And if you're relying on those two for advice, they're two very good ones. Sierra from the Rideau Curling Club represented Ontario at the I believe it was the 2020 Canadian Junior Championship as a skip, and Jeremy Landry has also participated. I believe it was 2 Brier appearances for him as a second. So no doubt you want to call those two in when you can to get their advice.
Yeah, those junior championships are not easy to get to, and a Brier, well, that's also not easy to get to. So
that one slipped through the house there. Ontario maybe with an opportunity to get out of this end.
Yeah, they're thanking their lucky stars right now to have an open look at this rock in the back of the 8-foot. Not the most dangerous stone, but a stone that can definitely force you to a single, so they'll be happy to make this hit. This rock is curling, though. Shooter's not going to stay. Yeah, lucky to make contact. Not the end of the world to roll out there, though. Blank still in play.
Derek Leonard is a grade 12 student.
I wonder if there's any relation to Tom Leonard, who's an ice maker up in Sudbury Way. Really good ice maker, too.
Before today, I would have just said, yeah, and then I was looking into the connection with Tracy Fleury. It's never good to assume anything.
It's an astoundingly small yet large community, this curling we do.
Derek Stone will get to the tee line. We have 4 other games here in play this morning at the RA Center, and games are in play over at the Hunt Club. You can find all the scores from those games. We'll update you too at curling.ca/scoreboard.
Ontario looking to hit and stick here. I think a roll of the wing, that wouldn't be too bad either. It looks like they'll get a little roll out of this. A little too much roll, actually. Lots of late finish in this ice, and both teams, well, Ontario namely with their hits, are implementing control weight. It's a good, easy weight to get comfortable with. And if I'm either of these teams right now in the first end, I'm happy to run the rocks up and down, bank a little time, run the pebble down, and just get comfortable.
Yeah, we mentioned the comfort of draw 1 for many of these players. In fact, all but 2 of the players out here today, well, all but one of them that's playing this game, they've never worn their provincial colors at a national championship. And that first time you put on that jacket is quite a feeling, and then you're playing, and then like we said, there's a full house here at the RA Center. You're a little bit exposed to something quite new here, and streaming, playing in front of an audience like that, wearing microphones. So it's a really unique experience, and we'll see Camden Julian with his first rock of this first end.
Yeah, heavy is the crest on your back as well as the microphone on your waist. We told the gentlemen to be on their best behavior. I trust they'll all be just fine. And if I'm Camden Julian, I'm really happy to be throwing draws here in the first end. I'm going to get comfortable, bank that draw weight. You might need that for an extra point or 2 later on in this game, because I think this one's going to be tight.
I don't know what happened on yours. Control? Yeah. This side's a hair straighter.
Talked about players with previous national experience, and the one that's playing in the game right now that has it is in the hack right now. That's Owen. He was a 2023 U18 participant, and he was a Canada Winter Games bronze medalist as well.
That was a good U18s up in Timmins there last year.
Just 10, just 10.
Ice mechanics on Owen.
Yeah, the talent level amongst all these curlers is so high. They would eat a lot of club curlers for breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, I believe one of the Ontario teams, it may have been this team because they're from the Rideau, was recently playing in the Rideau men's spiel, and I was talking to some folks that were at that who were on the wrong side of that game against the U18 team, and it is quite something to see. And think back to my days of playing as an under 18, basically called it bantam back then, and the exposure that these athletes now have at this national stage is pretty impressive. Because when I was playing, and I'm sure the same with you, it was the John Eppings that were dominating juniors or John Morris in Ontario as well. So you never had a chance to get to a national championship unless you somehow beat them, which, you can go back and look, no one really beat them in their junior days. So to be able to have that opportunity before you turn 18 is really special.
And the development event that this U18s has become is so important because we are setting the stage for the stars of tomorrow.
Camden Julian with his final stone of this first end, going way off to the wings to try and hit the Ontario stone.
Going to try to roll this rock back to the center line. Caught it a little thin. It'll spill out of play, but nothing wrong with that for Northern Ontario. They'll take a blank in this situation, and Ontario will also happily take a blank. Really, right now, it's about deciding what kind of line do they want to see. Looks like they're going to choose the edge of the forefoot there on the right-hand side of your screen.
And it's going to throw like a 10-5 inside out.
10-5 is about control for us old heads. You see a lot of teams now transitioning to timing their hits rather than, labeling them, and it's a much more accurate measurement. And the ladies did it first, and it's probably because they're smarter than us there.
So an inside out, as he called it. In-turn throw through for Owen Nichols, and the Ontario skip will have a blank in his first end of draw one, day one here action of the 2024 Under 18 Championships from the RA Center here in Ottawa. We'll be back after the break.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, we got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Welcome back to Draw One coverage of the 2024 Under 18 Championships here at the RA Center in Ottawa. Darren McEwen alongside Andrew Denny as we saw a blank end in the first end in the Battle of Ontario.
Yes, both teams sizing each other up a little bit in that first end, and both teams did have opportunities to apply pressure. A little bit of a rollout here and there, but I think that might be, getting used to the ice. Draw one, arena ice, big crowd, brand new rocks, lots of curl. I think both these teams will be ready to get busy here in the coming ends.
Our ice here at the RA Center maintained this morning by Rick, and he is a ice maker at our club, but he's also an ice maker, the head ice maker over at the Rideau Curling Club, which Team Ontario 2 is quite familiar with, although a lot of these players on Ontario's team come from different communities and come together. They basically brought themselves together kind of out of nowhere, as they said. They call themselves Team Ontario, Team Owen Nichols, and Team Out of Nowhere is how they describe themselves, because they only played one game before they went into their qualification, and it was just basically a scrimmage game before they entered this team into the playdowns, and made their way all the way here as Ontario 2 and one of the home teams here at the RA Centre.
Nothing scarier than playing against a team that just throws it together and decides, hey, we can actually win this thing. They got nothing to lose. That's a scary team to play against. So congratulations to those fellas for qualifying.
So we have a garden play now.
First one. Actually, that's not true. There was a guard in the first end, but it disappeared. Plenty of ice being taken here on this clockwise rotation.
I saw Cole O'Connor's rock. This is actually Cole O'Connor's third year of curling and first year competitively, and here he finds himself in a national championship. Again, Andrew, to what you said, the development of this event is so key, and that's pretty special to be in your third year and find yourself in a national championship.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, there's obviously a lot of talent in a curler like that, and if you can set the tone like that early, I mean, I think it took me 20-some years to get to a national championship before I even got a sniff at it, so congratulations to him. 21 teams here, all divided up into 3 pools of 7, and that makes for a lot of athletes.
It's great for the athletes too and the families to be here in Ottawa. It's actually winterlude right now. Can't go out on the Rideau Canal ice, but great time to be in Ottawa. If you're going to be here in the winter, you might as well be here at winterlude. So lots of activity happening in the city right now.
Yeah, Ottawa, a great winter city if you can brave the cold, although it's not that cold today.
Yeah,
so.
pretty good. Saw a good shot there from Landon Fleury.
Yeah, mostly buried, but still enough you could chase that. Plenty of curl in this. You can hit and flop and sit too if you're Ontario. They'd be kind of middling, but that'd be a good way to start cooking up an extra point score if you're Team Ontario. And they do want to convert the hammer here. Good time to score as even ends, and well, we find ourselves in the second.
You see to the top right of your screen there is the ice maker Rick Allen. He's going to have his hands full later this week. I think it's supposed to rain and be quite mild by the end of the week. So we will not be on the Rideau Canal at any point this week.
Yeah, every ice maker's best friend, a little bit of extra humidity. And you'd be amazed how much extra moisture actually comes in on people's jackets. And there's plenty of fans in the stands here today. So
great scrub there by Cole O'Connor to get that stone by, and a really good shot by Ty McCutcheon.
Yeah, moved it up at a rock width or a rock length towards the center line and towards the tee line as well. So didn't get by much.
Just got by that, yes.
That's all right. They're young. They can handle it. Good scrub.
Landon Fleury is a grade 13 student.
Tricky call here. The freeze was the call. You could have attacked this stone with a little bit more weight and try to remove it from play. I don't hate the freeze call. I love this bump result, though. That's a great shot.
And suddenly, Northern Ontario sitting 2.
I'll invite the hit and roll back.
Should mention, see some teams here, including Ontario, with 2 behind their name. A lot with the 21 teams, it ends up that most provinces are able to send 2 teams. This Ontario team would be the runner-up representative here. We have another Ontario rink, and same with Northern Ontario. They defeated the other men's team from Northern Ontario that's in this field.
Yeah, those extra slots being allocated by ranking from last year's national championships. That's a great hit and roll there.
Buried, Ontario sitting 1.
Plenty of snap in this ice, though. I mean, yeah, with a hack waiter, just like Mr. Julien is calling, you can really get to that stone, and it's going to take some really, really precise draws to make sure that these stones are buried, because with this much curl and the rocks as lively as they are, no shot is going to be off the table. That makes for some good curling, Derek.
This is a side we haven't seen on this end. Landon Fleury leaning on that. Great sweep to make contact. Hang the shooter, not quite.
Yeah, unfortunate not be able to stick the shooter. That might have been closer to board weight, but we're splitting hairs there. Hack and board are essentially the same style of hit weight, so it's a good result for Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
A lot of rotation on this come-around attempt. Maybe a pound heavy as well. It's really keeping it straight.
Drew Zettler's stone will come just to the back 8 foot.
Aggressive call here by Northern Ontario. Again, they're showing their cards. They're not going to wait around. They are going to get after it. Second end, you could just remove that Ontario stone and say, okay, score your 2 this way. They would come around again, but hey, if you feel confident you can make this shot, by all means, Captain, have at her.
Sweepers saying they need some backing. It's a little heavy.
On that curl now, look at it go.
It's just diving to the center line. They'll make contact and they'll sit. It looks like just 1 to me.
Yeah, well managed. I mean, the sweepers were effective in their communication, saying this rock's hot, we need some backing. And skipper said, all right, let's get after it. Make contact, roll away.
Canada's got to be a little louder than that.
We've heard them say front end at the other end saying Camden needs to be a little bit louder. It is very loud in here.
Yeah,
It's probably here at home too. You can let the horns, the bells, and the 4 other sheets beside you.
And we are in a little booth as well, so it does kill some of the sound. Not all of it, but it's a little bit quieter in here.
Well then.
Sweeper's calling back 4 out of his hand.
Yeah, this is a big shot for Ontario. This could define the end for them. If they're going to score 2, it's probably going to be with old Nichols' stones at this point. So this is just a posturing up shot.
Trying to get it to finish now. Ty McCutcheon on the sweep. A slip back button, but it is mostly buried.
And back to the freeze goes Northern Ontario. And in this situation now, it's a more effective call than the first time they called it. Not that it wasn't effective the first time they called it. It was just very aggressive. Right now, this is definitely the shot. Jams all over the place. You may as well try and shorten up the scoring area. Camden Julian was actually quite sharp on his draw weight in the first end, so no reason to believe he can't make this perfect.
Even if we land top 8, we can use it. Okay. Just we don't want to be deep here. Yeah. Okay.
Now there is one relation I am confident of in the Northern Ontario team, and that is Camden Julian is the cousin to Caleb Flaxey. Of course, the 2014 Olympic gold medalist with Team Brad Jacobs, now working with Team Brad Gushu, and also related to Ali Flaxey, of course. Ali is Caleb's wife, and she contributed to this team's going away fundraising event with some jerseys. So a lot of people to look up to for this team, including their coach who went to a Briar as well, a couple Briars. See Camden Stone just coming up a little short of what he called, but in the rings to sit, looks like 3rd or 4th shot.
Yeah, a bit of a double-edged sword on that. You know, you don't want to be heavy and chap off, and then Ontario can just hit and lie too. If you're light, at least you're blocking the path a little bit better, but they still are going to have the counterclockwise side here. So, yeah, a bit tricky. That's the ebb and flow of playing an aggressive game.
Well, you're second and third. Not right now, hopefully. He could need a double if it doesn't.
Because it does curl in at the end. Exactly, yeah. Same as your ground and button, right? Okay. So.
Good communication in the hack there for Ontario. Owen Nichols is a first-year psychology student at Carleton University, which he is going to class this week. Probably not, but he could walk. We're just across the river from here.
Yeah, it's a big campus as well.
He's a Raven curler.
Ravens have a history of winning in curling as well.
Yes, they do.
It's always cool.
Nothing to this one yet for Cole or Drew.
Yeah, you got to be really careful where you place the stone. You don't want to leave a tailor-made double for Northern Ontario.
And they'll drag that one right to the tee line to sit 2 for Ontario.
Yeah, really nice. Maybe showing enough to get them both moving, however. No cakewalk. Still a great result for Ontario.
A decision here. We might see our first coach interaction. They go for the run. I don't know if they can see enough of the red to make the run. There is a 3 guard up there. Or do they chase, Andrew?
Well, if I'm them, I'm chasing, to be honest. Because if you rack off the front, it's not a huge deal. You clean everything up. Oh, we got a coach's interaction. We'll listen in.
Makes it really shrinks the scoring area, right? You know what I mean? You can try that hit, but if it jams and you roll a bit open, he's got a open hit for 2 or 3, well, depending where this one is, right? But I mean, you just threw a draw, right? So it's just a hair more, yeah. And all you do is tap that. He got by the guard by a ton, so you could just kind of get to nose there. It'd be perfect. It'd be hard for him to get rid of it. What do you think?
Yeah, probably like just close to edge almost.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. And it's all weight. Even if you just freeze to it, you know, you're just going to shrink that scoring area, which is good. So. Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? So, okay.
Good interaction there with Jeremy Landry, who went to the 2004 and 2006 Brier for Northern Ontario. He also recently won the Northern Ontario Coaching Award at the U18 Championships up there. We saw in the background Sierra Sutherland from Ontario. The opposing coach also gets to interact with the team, and basically, as you mentioned, Andrew, as soon as the team that calls the interaction is done, then the opposing team also has to wrap up their coaching interaction. So good example of it, and again, something that you and I, when we curled when we were younger, that we didn't have that opportunity. And I do remember thinking, like, what, you know, I didn't want to burn a timeout early in the game, and like, when do you call it? And I think that certainly this alleviates it. When you get to U21s now, I believe it's 2 per half of the game, so they're kind of phasing it out a little bit. I think it's a great addition.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of value you get out of it, and teaching situation-specific interaction and shot making and shot choice in this particular situation really shines. You know, Coach Landry coming out and saying, "Hey, you know, you just threw this. Let's try it again. We've got this side, plenty of room."
This one's going to hang out, and it's.
Yeah, tough luck there for Northern Ontario. Right idea. Just a little heavy on that attempt. Really kept the rock straighter. Ended up chapping off a little bit. Yeah, it's probably about back line.
Owen Nichols here would draw to the 4-foot for the 3.
So if it's heavy, make sure you let him know.
You hear him say that they do have backing.
Plenty of backing.
15-2.
A lot of ways you can make this shot.
15-2, which is what we saw in the pre-game draw to the button as well. He certainly knows it. He played it perfectly to help earn them hammer.
15-2 is fast. Pretty typical for championship ice and arena, but yeah, fast for your local club.
For sure. And this one is not light.
Plenty of ways to still make this, though. Better than being light.
Line's good.
Calling back 4.
Yeah, maybe a little more than back four, boys, but that's okay.
And it will stop in time. All three of them, count them. And Ontario 2 will take a 3-0 lead as we head to the third end here of Draw 1 of the U18 Canadian Championships from the RA Centre in Ottawa.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
You got one, you got two, you got three for the game.
Time to go home, kiddo.
Just one more throw, please.
Thank you for making moments like these possible.
A big 3-ender last end, the second end for Ontario, and they take a lead over their rivals from the north. As we resume Draw 1 action here at the RA Centre, the U18 Championship. It's all boys games this morning here at the RA Centre. We'll have an afternoon matchup later today that will be coming at you at 2 Eastern. And that will be the Northern Ontario women's entry versus New Brunswick 2.
Lots of love for the Moose on today's broadcast schedule. As you mentioned, Darren, a 3 on the board there for Ontario 2 in the second end, and it really wasn't. It was a sneaky 3. Northern Ontario got very aggressive and just couldn't quite execute when the rubber hit the road. And unfortunately for them, they gave up a 3, but fortunately for them, it's only the second end, and there's plenty of room to crawl back.
Owen Nichols has shown his draw strength so far this game, making a couple critical ones, including the one to get hammer. Cole O'Connor's second rock here, just trying to bring this to the top of the house. Cole is actually a rocks and ring instructor.
That's a fun program. That's a really good strategy call. It's a mature call from Ontario 2 there. You might be tempted to throw the guard and say, okay, let's build some infrastructure here, and that way Northern Ontario wouldn't be able to hit it. But because there's so much curl in this ice, to bring that rock into the house and tighten everything up is usually a safer bet.
Felix Bonin-Descharmes credits a number of people in his life for inspiring him, but one of them is his older brother, Olivier. Actually, I had a chance to work with Olivier at the Team Holman Junior Camp a few years ago as an instructor, and Olivier was a great curler in his own. I believe he went to a U21 for Northern Ontario, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the amount of good curlers that are coming out of the north is impressive.
Yeah, and it seems to be all the different regions, not just Thunder Bay, where you see Krista McCarville, and we'll see Krista and Mike's daughter competing this week here at the event, but also there's strong curlers in New Liskeard, like these guys, and North Bay has had their share as well.
Sudbury, Kakaveka Falls, you name it. Timmins.
Sault Ste. Maria's had an Olympic gold medal.
I think there's a team from Temiskaming Shores as well.
Yep. Small region that is mighty in the curling world, that's for sure. Shouldn't say small physically. It takes a day to drive across it.
Yeah, it's a big province.
Landon Fleury. An interesting thing too about both these teams is that they both the players that throw second stones hold the broom for their skip. So Landon is in the house when Camden's throwing, and on the other side, Ty's in the broom when Owen is throwing.
Yeah, we're starting to see a dissolution a little bit of that traditional vice third role. Vice skip is whoever is holding the broom for the skip on their stones, and really it's about who calls the best line. You know, you don't have to be a third thrower or your mate or third or anything like that anymore. I mean, another team that does it extremely well is Kerry Galusha. They all throw in interesting order, and it works really well for them. They've been to a bajillion Scotties. A bajillion's a real number, Darren. I looked it up.
21 for Kerry coming up in a couple weeks. But
yeah, that is impressive.
Yeah. Trying to get this into the rings. They'll come close, but they'll get it. They're great sweep by the Ontario team.
Yeah, definitely sweeper's ice. They can drag this thing a mile. Really important to get that rock on the scoring area in the house as well. You really want to make sure that you're maintaining pressure on Northern Ontario in this end if you're the team from the Rideau Curling Club. Rock just a little soft. You can see it's curling big.
Derek Leonard trying to hold the line. Might get the double, and they do.
Yeah, that's just as good.
Good shot there by Landon.
You'd rather the roll, but the double doesn't. You're not complaining about the double either.
Two corner guards for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, the center line free guard zone rule is in play here, just like at every other national championship, except for mixed doubles and wheelchair. So if it's on the center line, you can't move it until the expiration of the 5-rock rule.
Thank you for reminding me that.
No,
because I've never played it actually.
It's interesting. It definitely makes it tough, but it not like lead rocks weren't important enough already. It makes them especially important.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see if more clubs adopt that or provinces bringing that in, because I think of these players here are going to continue on in their career. And if they, they're exposed to it here, they're going to go on to play maybe U21s or just play club curling recreationally, and they're not going to be playing with the tick rule right now. I'm a proponent of it going into club play, because I think it's maybe a little hard to police, if you will, but at the same time, might as well, put it into all elements of it. We have the Canadian Curling Club Championships where it's also in play. So if you're getting to that stage too, I just feel like whatever the rule is, you continue it at the club play. I know there's a little of a contentious argument there, but I like the idea of the rule being in play.
It'll vary club by club, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a club policy decision whether they want to adopt the world rule or not.
I know even when the 5-rock rule came into play, we were sitting around as league conveners and there was a vote on whether we should adopt it. And not everyone was in favor of adopting the 5-rock rule at the club play. And I mean, it quickly, we looked around and all the clubs have basically adopted it now.
Yeah, the transition from the old Moncton rule to the 4-rock rule to now the 5-rock rule would be the biggest transition at a club level. Bringing in the center line free guard zone is a small pivot when you've already made the big change. So I think you'll see more clubs adopt it.
Derek Leonard with a really nice come-around draw there for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Short run back, however, is going to be left for Ontario. Is there such thing as a short run back, Darren?
I'm a lead, so
I'm a lead too. So
we'll defer.
Yeah, we'll ask someone who throws more runbacks.
Yeah.
This one's going to overcurl a hair.
We'll roll it on. and interestingly, may have blocked the path for the other corner, to come around the other corner guard.
Yeah, really good roll there. So not only, like you said, it cuts off the path behind that other corner guard, but now it forces Northern Ontario to maybe hit and roll. And you can't really roll to a great spot. You have to be second shot because of the Yellowstone in the back of the 12-foot. So tricky rock management shot about to come up right here.
Derek Leonard is a slow pitch player and slow pitch softball in the summer. Several of these athletes play multiple sports. Some discus and javelin out there.
Look at this double. Oh, man.
Sneaky.
Wow.
Certainly brings the blank into play now.
Yeah, that's an end changer right away. I mean, you would never call that, but yeah, you're really happy to take that home. That's dandy. Yeah, you're thinking blank all day now, for sure, if you're Northern Ontario. Try your luck in the fourth and get on the board.
Just a 10.
But we've seen plenty of curl, especially in this spot in the first end. So not a guarantee that this is just going to be nosed.
Owen Nichols with a pre-shot routine that reminds me a lot of Jennifer Jones. A little rub of the knee before he goes to throw.
Probably grew up watching Jennifer.
Has some good flare curling socks there. He mentioned he has a different pair for every single game, so hopefully he's well stocked this week.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
Is he a baseball player?
He's not. Well, doesn't tell us that he is.
Fair. That's a really superstitious thing.
Is it?
So yeah, I play with enough ball players who are, you know, if they get into a slump, they change their socks.
Hit and stick there. Didn't want to roll too much to give Northern Ontario a chance to roll behind the guard. So
yeah, great result there for Ontario 2. A lot of poise on this Ontario 2 team.
Yeah, I was thinking Owen as he came down was, you know, after seeing a double that was maybe not called, he was still very well composed. Seems to be a good leader for the team, and we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that he's the only player on the ice right now who has been to a national championship before for either of the teams. The alternate for Ontario 2, Dylan Stockton, also participated in a national championship. I believe it was on the same team as Owen. Camden Julian trying to hit and roll. Early for the sweep, though, for Northern Ontario to hold it.
Fighting to keep the roll.
A lot of weight on that, Andrew.
Yeah, maybe not. Wasn't necessary to throw that much weight, but for a bigger roll, I don't hate it. You just got to make sure you're not rolling out, which they definitely did not. So.
If I see a call, I just knows.
Yeah, nose is the call here for Ontario 2. You want to keep this rock as close to the center line as possible and make the blank attempt for Northern Ontario as difficult as possible.
Same thing, yeah.
Some other tight games already on the other sheets next to us. We have Alberta taking on the Northwest Territories. That game is locked at 2 points apiece. And Saskatchewan has a 1-0 lead on Quebec next door. And as mentioned, you can find all the scores at curling.ca/scoreboard. We'll have full streaming coverage here on Curling Canada Plus for every draw here in Ottawa, so you get a good look at that full house we have at the RA Center. Owen Nichols in his final stone of this third end, up by 3 without hammer, trying to get a little roll here.
And Owen slid narrow and he adjusted it back. They're fighting to get some curl out of this. Should be on the beak.
Right on the nose.
Like my former teammate Greg Balsden always said, beak or better. He said, how do you get better than the beak? He says, you don't. Good enough, Greg.
Greg, 2023 Canadian Curling Club champion out in Edmonton is the skip.
Yeah, he's a stud. Blank attempt now, looks like Darren.
Yeah. Camden Julian will try for the big hit and roll out. Big weight again on this one, and this one will pick it, and it is a blank, our second of the game, and Ontario will continue to lead 3-0 after 3 ends as we head to the 4th here in Ottawa.
It's a beautiful blend of strategy, skill, and creativity. Curling. But it's our people that make us great. We're a mosaic of countless experiences. We communicate and collaborate. We value new ideas and different perspectives. We learn from our past and from our future. We may even disagree sometimes, but it's in our differences that we can see our strengths. The beauty of our sport is reflected in our people and our values. Regardless of your ethnicity or gender, your abilities, your stage in life, your beliefs, or who you love. The rocks and the ice don't discriminate. And as curlers, we won't either. We will be the change that we want to see in the world. Curling is a place for everyone.
And that place today is the RA Centre here in Ottawa for the U18 Canadian Championships as we begin the 4th end of this Draw 1 matchup between Ontario 2 and Northern Ontario. Andrew, it's a 3-0 lead here for Ontario 2 and the team from the Rideau Curling Club. And like you said, there seems to be a lot of poise on this Ontario team, and it'll be interesting to see how that holds up as the game goes on.
Yeah, so far Ontario 2 has been the better team, and it reflects on the scoreboard. Little things are being managed slightly better. Rocks are stopping in better spots. Like you saw, like the red stone that just came to a stop in the back of the 8-foot, not ideal for Northern Ontario if they want to generate some momentum. So luckily it's the first game of a long week, and it's only the 4th end, and you're only down 3. So, you know, bank it, you know, internalize it, and move on. Start making some shots.
Hit and roll out there for Northern Ontario. Or, excuse me, for Ontario, I should say.
And it's no cakewalk managing this arena ice. You know, a lot of these players are going to be new to this kind of situation. It's so release sensitive, and it's so important to make sure that you're to the broom with the correct weight. There's a lot of moving parts that this ice has that club ice won't have. So it could be an adjustment that we're going to see throughout the week as well.
And there is that noise.
Yeah, it's loud here. Now you talk to every curler that has played in an arena setting, and they all say they want the fans. They want the ruckus.
Felix's rock will just slide into the house there. And I have to correct myself earlier. I mentioned Olivier, his older brother. He was actually the U Sports for Laurentian University, and big inspiration to him. They just placed 4th place at last year's U Sports for Laurentian.
That was a good team, actually. Last year was in Sudbury. It was a good event.
Ty McCutcheon wants to avoid the jam here, Andrew.
Yeah, it might be too little too late for that, unfortunately.
So a chance here for Northern Ontario, generate their 2 points.
Yeah, 2 places, that's the correct place to put that rock. it looked like Mr. Julien was going to put his broom, you know, on the right-hand side or left-hand side of the screen that you're seeing right now. And that would have made Ontario's double attempt easier. This is a much better place to go. Go to the wings, sit your two, and just see if you can trade hits. Maybe something good will happen.
We have no defending players as champions in this event this year, but the defending men's province is Alberta, and they're off to a 4-2 lead right now in Draw 1 over Northwest Territories on the neighboring sheet. Alberta swept this event last year, both the men's and women's champions. Of course, the women's champion was none other than Mila Plett, who has catapulted her way into the women's curling world as the U21 champion in the same year. She played in the PointsBet Invitational earlier this year, and gave Jennifer Jones's team a run for their money.
That team is going to be very scary for a long time.
And a product of the U18, so we will see who comes out of this event and rockets onto the national scene of men's and women's Briars and Scotties of the future.
This is where it all starts. Fun to have the best seat in the house for it.
Yeah, it is. Look around, see who we will see in, you know, a few years. And there was a time when that would take 5-10 years before that person would make it onto the real big stage. And you look at someone like Mila Plett's team, and there's been others as well on the men's side too, where it's they just transfer right into it.
No fear. Interesting call earlier in this shot where they were talking about pulling up light is okay. It is and it isn't. You really do want to make sure that the shot is made. It's just a basic come around.
Stay close.
Looks a hair hot right now, but it will curl. And that's going to take some of the weight off of it.
That's fine.
Landon Flurry-Stone will come to the back 8 foot, partially behind cover there. You can see about just over half the rock is exposed.
Yeah, just 5 feet deep, 4 feet deep. Really close to perfect, honestly. But, I mean, this rock, based on that camera angle, it looks more buried than it actually is. With a good board waiter here, this is going to be a wide open shot. This rock is boogieing.
Hard roll it, hard roll it, hard roll it. Hard.
A hit, but he will roll in. Almost getting second shots. He will. Pretty good result.
Yeah, that's you look up or look down and say thank you very much for that nice plan B. That's then maybe go buy a lottery ticket if you were old enough.
I don't think they're old enough.
They're not old enough. I'll buy it on their behalf.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it'll rub off. Yeah, that couldn't have gone any better for Ontario, and just kicked a little narrow, and it took off on him. And well, look at that. You're sitting two all of a sudden.
Derek Leonard credits his grandpa Gaston Leduc for influencing him to begin his curling career.
That's a great name.
Hard Chief. Hard curl. To center. All the way to center.
Just popped it out a bit.
Contact me. You would have loved to have stuck the shooter around if you're Northern Ontario too. They're a bit of an unforced error. Just really, really need to get that engine going in first gear, and then work your way back up, get some momentum. It's proving a little more difficult for the Northern Ontario lads, but again, you're only down 3.
Drew Zettler's second stone of this end. He'll hit and stick. Drew actually competed for Nova Scotia on Team Atherton, and is now finding himself as an Ontario resident.
Nice nose hit there. Sets up. You could play a double here. Northern Ontario choosing to be aggressive, as they have been all game. They're going to try and freeze to garner some momentum here. Double's fine, but if you play that double, you're looking at a blank again. But you got to make this.
Sweeper's indicating a little bit strong.
Yeah, waking off doesn't get you a whole lot, unfortunately. You're better off being 2 or 3 feet light and being in front of everything. I like the idea, though, because both those stones are behind the tee line. There's really no harm in trying to be a little more aggressive and generate your 2. Just that execution. Again, first game of the week, though.
Yeah.
You know, it takes me 5 games to get warm anywhere, so.
First game of the week, first national championship game for this team from the north.
Yeah, it's a completely different situation, you know, when you've, like you said earlier, when you've got your province on your back, everything is different.
No doubt a lot of people watching back home at the Horn Granite Curling Club. Beautiful 6-sheeter on the shores of Lake Temiskaming.
Love Northern Ontario. Been lucky to be there many, many times.
Owen Nichols of the Rideau Curling Club here in Ottawa. Just trying to make this one go away. And we'll get a little, well, not much of a roll, but.
Yeah, the roll there would have been ideal, but that's still a fine shot for Ontario, too. The further you roll, the less valuable it is to Northern Ontario. Well, you can't have it all sometimes.
Yep. So the fourth end, the teams will get a break between ends here coming up. So see most of the other games, or some of the other games have reached that point already. It's a 2-0 lead next door, Saskatchewan on Quebec, and it's a 3-1 advantage in the Battle of the Maritimes with Nova Scotia leading Prince Edward Island over on sheet A.
Same speed, or?
And our feature, Camden Julian, looking to lock one on to a rock that's at the back 8 foot. Took a little extra time, I think, in the hack on that one. Pretty key shot to try and generate his 2 here.
Yeah, big shot here for Northern Ontario. If they're going to want to be able to score multiple, it's going to be on Mr. Julien's stones.
Really got to go on this for line and weight. Leonard and Bonin Descharmes on the broom. They will get to 3rd shot.
Too bad. Really close to good.
There might be a double if they get a chance at it, but they have called a coach interaction here. Let's listen in to Coach Sierra Sutherland.
Yeah, if you're light, that's fine. He doesn't have a double. Yeah, but if you're in that spot, like in front of, like, just tuck a piece behind the red, even if you're frozen to ours, like, it's not.
So that was a quick one. They get 5 to 60 seconds to interact with their coach, and then the other team, opposing team, as we mentioned, has to wrap theirs up as well at the same time. So a quick decision there for Ontario with Sierra's help.
It's, Ontario 2 now wagering on a more aggressive call. You could just remove that stone from play and say, okay, you're not scoring 2 now. But the reality is you do have a potential to steal in this end if you wire the shot really nicely. Just tuck a corner underneath.
I think it's fine. Whatever you've been throwing, like, yeah. The sides are the same? Yeah, I thought the same, so we can switch, right? Even light's fine to guard the double.
Owen Nichols with his final stone, leading by 3 without hammer here in the 4th end, and a chance to really put his foot on the gas here.
Cole,
15 seconds was the hog-to-hog on that one.
Make it a little heavy.
Don't even look at it. Tell us how you really feel. Don't even look at it. Stop.
Ty is very animated here in the house. Love it. Into the game for sure.
Great haircut, too. It's like a Jerry curls almost.
So Ontario 2 is sitting 3, but Northern Ontario just needs really 4 foot here with some backing, but can't be too cute with it.
No, in a perfect world, you don't need that backing, but you see that, you know, Camden just threw this. He probably knows the weight. The sweepers are going to know the path fairly well. There's no reason why this can't be planted. You get your single and you move on.
The team from New Liskeard looking to get on the board here.
Fellas are on it early.
Line looks okay. It's a matter of what the weight is. And it's a little lighter than the last one, 15-2, but they might be able to drag it there. All three of them sweeping. Need a piece of the forefoot. And they just come up short, and it's a steal of 3 for the team from the Rideau Curling Club. And it's a look at it. From our vantage point, it does look like 3.
Steal it 2.
Oh, they're saying... I think they're going to measure. Yeah, it looks like they're going to measure.
Yeah, you're at a national. If the officials are here, may as well measure them.
You can see McCutcheon telling his teammate Zettler, do not touch those rocks. So we will get our first measurement here for the umpires.
Yeah. I think it's 3. He thinks it's 2.
Either way, that's tough luck there again for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, good line, just a little light. 15-2, 15-3 was the time on that one. Update you on the scores while we wait for that measurement. It's a 1-1 tie between New Brunswick and Newfoundland and Labrador. And it's a 4-2 lead right now for the Northwest Territories on... Or sorry, 4-2 lead for Alberta over the Northwest Territories right now next door. And Saskatchewan has a 2-0 lead on Quebec. And in the final men's game over on sheet A, it's a 3-1 advantage for Nova Scotia, leading Prince Edward Island. They're just about to finish the fourth end there. And all the scores at curling.ca/scoreboard. Look at the measurement.
Even if it's 2, it's fine.
Extra point on the line here, and that's a big one.
It's just unfortunate. We're just hitting half shots.
You can actually hear some of the players talking in Northern Ontario, just saying that they're just getting some half shots, and it's true. They haven't been that far off on a few of them. It's just been few that they've let get by, and it will be... Oh, looks like they're going to go once more.
Measure twice, cut once.
Keeping the players behind the measuring. So let's see where this one goes.
Obviously close. I think it picked at the end. It would have said sideways.
Okay. Oh, tie. I think it is yellow. Yes, it is a steal of 3 for Ontario. So a 6-0 lead for the team from the Rideau Curling Club. But still plenty of action to come here as we get set for the fourth end break at the U18 Canadian Championships at the RA Centre in Ottawa.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Don't forget the brooms.
Yep, you got it.
got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
And it's a commanding 6-0 lead right now for Ontario 2 and draw one action as they lead Northern Ontario a half. There is still half a game to go though, and lots of time for the team from New Liskeard to get on the board and tighten things up a little bit. Darren McEwen alongside Andrew Denny. And then we'll see the old fifth end curse of things being a little fast after the mop. And that's something that these athletes would probably not be used to even at their provincial championships, and not necessarily would there be a mop between, but that does speed things up, Andrew.
It sure does. We used to call that the Scott Howard when Scott used to throw lead bricks for his squadron. There's another character going to the Briar there. And I remember Carly, Scott's sister, who ran their social media accounts for a good while, would always dunk on Scott when he would bomb one through the fifth end. Everybody had a good chuckle except for Scott. He could take it.
Yeah, now he's throwing those skip rocks like nobody else.
It's in the blood.
It is.
How about that for a corner guard? Honestly, it's not a bad spot with how much curl you're getting out of this sheet. Maybe a foot deeper, but let's not get too prickly here. You're down 6. Anything is good.
Mentioned the Howards. It's Cole O'Connor here in the hack. Credits Russ Howard as being someone he learned almost everything he knows about strategy from reading his books, watching him play. He also credits Tom Ormsby, so a local curler from the Aurelia area. Taught him, took him under his wing to learn the sport.
Whoa, no. Just here.
Yeah, if you're a young curler, it pays to listen to the players that might be a little bit older than you. You don't have to listen to everything they say, but try and internalize a little bit of it. They probably have some good advice.
Yeah, and especially someone like Cole, who's remarkably only curled for 3 years, and this is his first year of competitive curling. He's already very much a student of the game early in his career. And off to a good start here. A little bit of a speed wobble there for Felix. Recovered nicely though.
Yeah, Felix is a tall guy, so maybe that growth spurt at that age, you never know. Maybe he's still getting used to the new legs.
3, yeah.
Just over crow.
Love the call for another corner guard. They're going to end up tapping their own just a smidge. Might be a biter now. Ontario happy to keep playing into the house, however.
I'm telling you right now, the wait till I get on the throw. It's got it. You're all there. Lots of room. Top 4, T-line. Back 4. Back 8. T-line. Okay, back then. Back then. Gotta go back here then.
Mentioned some of the multi-sport athletes on the ice. Ty McCutcheon is a javelin and discus athlete, thrower. Pretty cool to have those sports on your resume.
I wonder what kind of transferable skills come from that.
Throwing?
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. Control. Accuracy, aim. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to ask him. That previous shot you saw Ontario 2 throw, there was a really nice piece of communication. The sweepers identified the stone was heavy. Skipper said, okay, let's bring it back. And then they all kind of looked at each other and said, are we really? Yeah, okay. And in that situation, it might have actually been better to sweep that right through the house. But they definitely get full marks for identifying the execution. Could be a little better if they really wanted to drag that rock all the way through. But
great shot there for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, that's a beauty. That late finish allows that to tuck underneath all those corner guards. Landon Fleury chuckle there as he gets by. Props to the sweepers for helping.
We just can't throw guards for sure.
I had a bad slide too, trust me. Sliders are the best.
You'll see some granite fly now.
Hard curl! Hard curl!
Got to make contact. Look at the back one.
Oh. Well.
Touch them all.
Wow. Touch them all, Joe.
Yeah.
Ty?
Well, okay. That's not how Ontario 2 drew it up, and Northern Ontario is going to be very happy with that.
So, a chance here for the Northern Ontario to split the rings.
I mean, a welcome sight, too, for the team wearing green and yellow. They've been fighting hard to try and lie, too, and put some pressure on, so this would be a golden opportunity.
Curl, hard curl. Hard curl. Always yours there.
Wide right now.
That's just going to touch it and roll out.
Too bad. Well, if Northern Ontario is going to get back in this game, they're going to have to do it the hard way. They're going to have to be grinders. Character-defining matches. They often teach you more than any good practice session will ever. Good for the attrition. Bad for the soul.
Both these teams are in action later today at 7:30 Eastern. They'll be over at the Hunt. Northern Ontario will take on Quebec. Oh, just misses the back one. And Ontario 2 will face Prince Edward Island. And those competitors are also in action here this morning in Draw 1. So that will be interesting too, Andrew, getting used to, as the case with most U21 events too, you often have two venues. That's a little bit unique. You're at a U18 Provincial Championship. Those are usually just held at a curling club. So a lot of ice and rocks processing and just routines too. You're going to have the noise here at the arena that you're not going to have at the Hunt Club.
100% there, and I think you hit the nail on the head. When you're managing that many moving parts, it really is going to test your skill and your ability to retain information especially.
And your support team too. You're going to have parents probably involved in some of the, they're shuttling them around, but also, there might be some parents that can help with ice and just logistics, getting you to and from the location and understanding the ice conditions.
And speaking back to comfort as well, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to play in a couple of different venues and arenas and this and that. And it looks different when you walk in the building, but as soon as you're in the hack, the game is all the same.
Yeah.
One rock, one broom, one line of delivery. It's you versus yourself.
Drew Zettler being asked for the hit and roll over. He will hit and roll the other way, and the second shot now.
Yeah, not mandatory to roll, but it's kind of a sweet plum. So Northern Ontario really turning up the aggression now. They're going to try and corner freeze on this. It's a fifth end. You could hit out for your 2 and then hop on the steel train. It looks like they're going to try and cook up a 3 here, though. They're not going to be satisfied with 2. Precise shot, though, and this is what's kind of stymied Northern Ontario thus far in this game, is not being super precise on a lot of these finesse shots.
Now it's going.
This would be a great time to start making them.
Great wave for Derek. Just lost the line halfway down.
Yeah, over curled a hair. It looks to me, from my perspective in the booth, that the Northern Ontario lads, the release is just a little bit softer, and that is going to promote some extra curl, especially on this surface. It's not a bad thing. It's just a different throw than the Ontario 2 guys have. It's one of the things that we try to teach with the new curlers, like Darren, I know you used to teach some new curlers as well, is that every release is different. Every rock is going to run a little bit differently.
Yeah, you can have the perfect delivery up until that release, and that's even what catches, most of the high performance curlers is once in a while your release is just a little bit different. But I always tell them, like, see Owen's hit and roll out here. You can have everything going so well for you in the hack and your slide, but if you do anything that's different on your release, it can really, it changes everything. We have other games that we should mention too, and the men's side are happening right now over at the Hunt Club. It's a 3-1 lead for Saskatchewan on Newfoundland and Labrador, team number 1. Manitoba is off to a 7-0 start on Yukon. And Ontario Team 1 is trailing British Columbia 1, 3-2 at the break there. And on Northern Ontario 2, which I'm sure there's some fans watching this broadcast also interested in that one. That's the team that came runner-up to this Julian Rink at their provincials. They're off to a 6-4 lead right now on Nova Scotia. Curling.ca/scoreboard for all the scores of all the games.
Plenty of offense in that game. 6-4 already. Holy
a 3-ender and a 4-ender.
Have at her. Shotstone belongs to Ontario 2 in this situation. Pretty tricky shot waiting Mr. Julien here.
Camden Julien. They're on it early, but need the curl now, Andrew.
Oh,
just to get a piece.
Oh, may have overcooked it early. Yeah.
Maybe a little more weight than what they expected, and certainly they saw that path before, but more with draw weight in Derek's earlier one.
I think that's exactly it, Darren. I think you hit the nail on the head there.
But Owen Nichols still has to make this one to prevent the 2-ender.
Yeah, a lot less pressure on Owen now, however. If Northern Ontario is lying 2, odds are Ontario is looking at something a lot trickier than just an open draw to some paint.
Veteran, we'll call him that, Owen Nichols. He is Canada Winter Games, a previous U18 Championship for Ontario.
Yeah, that's veteran status in the U18 cycle.
Showing his poise early, and this one looks pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't need any extra. You can watch that one the rest of the way.
So that is as even as you can make them.
Yeah, real nice.
Just the ad again?
sweep it. You didn't sweep it.
No, but I think you guys like the
Beaker better will score you one here.
Control normal.
Camden asking his front end if they like the hit here or the draw, but they're pretty confident in the hit.
Yeah, this is one of those shots where it's skipper's preference. If they think they can dial the 4-foot in, let them draw. But if they want to hit, let them hit.
Decent amount of room to work with the roll here if they need to. But Camden Julian will look to get Northern Ontario on the board with a hit and stick. Off it early.
Yeah, plenty of tolerance here. This should be no problem.
Just a light clean, and that will get Northern Ontario on the board with a single as Ontario 2 has a 6-1 advantage as we head to the 6th end here at the U18 Championships in Ottawa.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
It's a 6-1 lead here for Ontario 2 in draw 1 action of the U18 Championship. Northern Ontario will need to put on their steel socks for the rest of this game if they want to get back in it. But Owen Nichols and his Ontario 2 team now with Hammer again. They took advantage of Hammer in the second end, scoring 3 to open the scoring. And Andrew, we will see what kind of offense or defense they put up here in this 6th end, but already calling the draw around. So a couple more ends to go for Northern Ontario to tighten things up a little.
Yeah, 3 left inclusively, and you're going to have to get busy and take a lot more risks. Try and garner some offense, especially coming from the steel side. A great start there from Félix Bonnet-Duchamp. You know, you want those center line guards up, and it's game on already, so I wouldn't count Northern Ontario out just yet. You never know. 3 ends left, and it's a big-ish lead, but it's youth curling. Anything is possible.
That one will slide through the house, and you saw Felix's first one right on that center line, so it can't be ticked off the center line. So like you said, a good start for Northern Ontario here in the 6th.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. I think this team is definitely better than what the scoreboard reflects right now.
For sure. I think it's just been a little bit of half shots, but see if they can get their legs under them here for this late part of the game.
Yeah, and they had an opportunity to potentially cook up 3 in the last end and just couldn't quite execute. So once that execution starts to sharpen up a little bit more as well, you're going to see a lot more offense.
This is the first time I think we've had 2 center guards, which is good news for Northern Ontario, trying to generate points.
Yeah, they're going to want some traffic. Ontario not shying away, however. They're going to come right around all this. The other option is you could just draw open to the wing and say, okay, that's our second point. Come and get it. And well, Northern Ontario wouldn't chase it, I assume. But I don't mind this call. It's definitely aggressive, but nothing wrong with it. Make it good.
Cole O'Connor in his national debut.
You know, Ontario having a really nice game as well. They're simplifying the game. They're not calling anything too crazy. They're picking their spots where they want to be a little more aggressive. You know, this is an aggressive call, but at the end of the day, it's a simple come around.
I put it top 4 foot, top button.
Didn't bury. Still a great result, though. Yeah, I love this call. Just throw back 4 weight at this. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what you want to see out of your skipper. Just move those rocks around, let a bunch of catchers build up in the back for Northern Ontario, and that's going to get them back in this game if they can execute.
Now, this is interesting. I think this is a case here where the volume may have been a factor. I heard Camden calling the sweep, and I don't think the sweepers could hear him.
Yeah, he was calling straight, and there wasn't a whole lot of straight sweeping going on. So I think you're right there. And I'm near certain that there was not willful ignorance involved there. So
no,
I think the volume, you're right, Darren.
Fortunately, I think for both these teams, there are a lot of fans for them in the arena. So usually when they're throwing, it's not as loud as when they're making the shots. They got a lot of fans here for Ontario, Northern Ontario, but still, it's a high ceiling. It's an arena setting. There's a lot of other games in action as well. So something to manage for both, for all the teams here.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those situations where eventually you just start to treat it like you would, like you've got someone loud next to you at the regular curling club. But
Jean-Michel Menard
like
on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, you win as much as you want. You can be as loud as you want.
For sure.
So love JM. Don't like playing against him.
Or playing next to him.
Or, yeah. Hey, he took home a world mix for us, so not mad at that.
Yes, and a Brier champion in the same year that the Northern Ontario coach and Jeremy Landry was at the Brier in that year that Jean-Michel won.
06?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Still got it.
In Regina or Saskatoon or Brandon, I'm not sure. It was in Saskatchewan, I believe.
Yeah, that one you got me on.
Roll out. They can wait. We're not in.
Northern Ontario wise to be throwing more guards here. Might seem counterproductive, but Ontario's going to be ripping anything and everything in sight, so may as well bulk them up while you can.
Regina.
Nice.
Well, we're headed in a couple weeks to the Brier again.
A great curling city.
So a lot of guards, and we will continue to see Ontario's Peel game here. This is not an easy one because probably going to jam one of them.
Yeah, you'll move all 3, but you're not going to lose all 3.
This could be sad.
You could also just peel a single and say, oh well. Well, there, that's a thought. That's bold.
Mm-hmm. So with a 5-point lead. I think you got to try to remove one of them.
That's a more natural double, the one that he just indicated as well.
Might even spill the rock into the house too off the back side of that one on the right screen.
Yeah, sure could. Convention says hit the highest guard first, but in this situation, I think this is a better call. Ooh, that release did not do him any favors, though.
A little inside for Ty's Peel. What's this going to do?
He knows it.
Oh, dear. Is he going to jam? Nope. Not quite.
Crossed. Yeah, just release on that one. Just let the rock run away from him a little bit.
So a little something going here for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, Northern Ontario's licking their chops right now. This is the best look they've had probably all game. Sadly, they don't have hammer.
Talked about the coaches' interactions a few times. They, of course, they're under thinking time rules as well. 34 minutes for these both these teams to play. And right now it's Northern Ontario with 15 minutes to go, and Ontario with 17. A little different too. In provincial championships, you would have had the clocks, but of course, I always found that to be pretty stressful when you, even if you played a provincial championship, to be under the time clock if it's something you're not used to. Just try and ignore it as much as you can.
Yeah,
but not be too slow.
No, in most situations, yeah, don't be Kevin Cooey. In most situations, if you're maintaining at least a relatively good pace of play, you're fine. You're going to have ample time.
And the other good thing, too, with the coaches' interaction, they can keep a track of that and interact with you and let you know, too, where you should be. You're speeding things up. So none of these, and neither of these teams should be a factor at this point. Northern Ontario Stone, the back 4 foot, back 8 foot there.
Yeah, a bit of a misstep there. Once again, just, you know, that's a tough shot. Even tougher in the first game of the week, your first game on this ice. Keeping it a little more simple could have garnered better results for Northern Ontario with this situation, but, you know, aggression is aggression, and maybe that's their game.
Right to it.
And this is gonna, does get a piece of it.
Almost better to roll that out if you're Ontario too. You don't want anything hanging around the back of the house.
Let's see, once it hit that center line, just good sweep there.
Yeah, plenty of rotation on that stone too. So.
Just low, yeah. Like a 10? I had 9 flat.
And that's the dichotomy right now for Northern Ontario, is they have to take these risks. They don't have a choice.
Landon Fleury indicating this is still a little bit heavy. And he's got to get off that guard that's coming into play here, too.
Well, maybe a kiss on the way by is what they want. Oh, there you go.
That'll do.
That's good.
He'll play.
Oh, boy, yeah.
They've had some breaks go the other way, so we'll take that one for sure.
Still not shot stone, but that's a much better house already for Northern Ontario.
I didn't see that one.
Good heads-up call at the end.
Wow. Beautiful. Tough to call those when you're in the house.
It is.
That was my first thought. This? Okay. What are you seeing? My first thought was the peel. But it's
See Owen there looking up. Their time clocks are off to the right of your screen there. He's just checking to see.
Hitting it thick and rolling it here.
There they are.
An army of volunteers.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ottawa's a great curling community, hosted a number of world-class events, including Briars and World Championships, a lot of volunteers, and this event no exception with the two clubs. So we do have a coach's interaction here for Owen Nichols, I should say, and we'll get Sierra Sutherland out.
Either peel and roll it this way, like slash it out, because obviously you hit yours and stay. Yeah, just get rid of the one, because that's the rock that's hurting you right now. Yeah. Or you play the draw. Do you have your draw weight? Do you like the draw?
My first thought was to get rid of it.
Yeah. It's either you peel the one that's on the 4 foot lines, or you draw and you corner freeze. The risk with the corner freeze is if you bounce off, they got 2
that's what I was thinking. Right, yeah.
So I think you just peel
the single
5.
Just the single.
Just be careful we don't tap that red back.
Yeah.
Got it?
Like half off.
Yeah.
Few options laid out, but I liked how Sierra gave options, but really told them what they needed to do there, which is good.
Yeah, she highlighted immediately what the problem rock was, and no question in my mind that this is the call.
Up 5 is, I think, the key of that interaction. Play the scoreboard.
Yeah, always play the scoreboard.
Drew Zettler.
You're good.
You'll peel the one, the top one.
Well executed. Yeah, keep it simple. You're up 5. Identify the problem, mitigate it. He can give up a steal, still win the game comfortably.
No matter what, the other one's a backup.
The real question now for Northern Ontario is, well, do they want to come in and tap this a little bit, or do they want to nestle into the pile? Do they want to stay a couple feet short?
We're not bored. It's draw to it.
Oh, okay.
They're all decent options.
I'm assuming he'll try to.
Wouldn't mind tapping this just a smidge if it was me, but nestled up, pretty juicy double weight in there, so.
Light's fine, I guess, too.
Yeah, the guard is fine. Even if we bump our red and roll a bit, that's fine too. It's just better on it.
Yep.
Camden Julian with his first stone, looking to steal his way back into this game.
So that's gone now.
She's looking spicy, Darren.
Leave it.
Nothing to it for the sweepers.
13:25, no.
13:25, that should be through the house.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Board. Oh, yeah, board.
I understand why it happens, you know, a little light on a couple draws earlier in the game, and then you really want to make sure you make this one good, so you give it a couple extra pumps. Just gasses it. Tough game we played.
It is.
Yeah, I like it. Does that look like max to you or good? I like it. Okay.
Listening to these two teams, it's remarkable. Under 18, and they have the communication, the kind of the verbiage of the top teams,
Just
right? Like max ice, that sort of thing. It's pre-shot routine.
Well, we're starting to see the flowers of the seeds that were sown in years past, right? So much emphasis on youth and high development, especially at a national level.
Owen Nichols with a great mechanics, but they need to get this by. Heavy board is what they're saying, and they'll get by the top one and remove shot stone and a little roll to the center line. Good shot by Owen.
Really well managed. Easy to panic when you see that rock start to curl, but they stayed cool and stayed with it. Great result. I mean, yeah, when you roll to the top of the button and your opposition's trying to steal, that's disheartening if you're Team Northern Ontario right now.
We're going to call a coach's interaction here, and we'll see Jeremy come out again.
What's the best approach to go here, right? So. No, exactly, given the scoreline, right? Yeah, you can try that little thing. Double spin up isn't bad.
It kind of goes up a little bit.
I think that's a much tougher hitting. Like the thin double, the good thing is even if you did jam it, they can make the shot. I don't see another one to get shot. So.
Even if you just touch that C with the rock moving, it should pop good.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. Kind of thin, right? So
Just you probably roll up and roll out.
yeah, well, it depends what you throw too, right? So, but with something you're comfortable with. I mean, ideally you play that with control, but if you're not comfortable with the ice, you can.
I think control.
Yeah.
So Coach Landry explaining there's really just one shot here, especially with the scoreboard. If you were in a closer game, I think you'd probably play the hit and roll over, but you kind of need to steal here.
Yeah.
So you got the very thin Andrew double to roll up, maybe get behind the corner guard in the process.
If you hit it perfect, you need, I mean, control weight is enough to move them both. Is it enough to remove them from play? Maybe. With these lively rocks in this house, perhaps. Does the shooter stay? That's another question. But again, playing the scoreboard, like you said, you have to take the risk. There's two things fighting Northern Ontario right now. It's like they can't tap or hit and remain shot, and they can't draw anywhere. So they're forced to play this really ticky shot.
Yeah, really good shot by Owen Nichols to set this up.
Yeah, that roll on top of the button was just savage.
We're trying the thin double, so hit the left.
Been one of those games for Ontario too. Rolling to good spots, getting good luck, setting themselves up for success.
Okay. Good ice for control.
It's tough, but really thin.
So the grade 11 student from New Liskard has a tough one on his hands here in this final stone. In the 6th end, trailing by 5, needs to make a thin double and keep his shooter to be shot rock after.
Control.
Camden, Julian. Close. He's hanging though.
Close to center.
Well, he'll get shot rock after. He does make
10.
Nichols make a play on it.
Yeah, touched the wrong stone for what they were looking for first, but their shot stone afterwards now, so that's a win unto itself. Force him to throw it.
Ontario 2 skip Owen Nichols looking to hit. Stick would be the bonus, but remove the shot stone.
Clean. Clean it. Clean it.
And you hear clean. And it will be a 2 score for Ontario 2, and they take an 8-1 lead after 6 ends of play here at the Draw 1 U18 Championships. We'll be back after this.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, we got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
It's been all Ontario 2 so far today in Draw 1 of the U18 Championships. They have an 8-1 lead on Northern Ontario. But Andrew, I look at this Northern Ontario team, and there's still a lot for them to gain from this end coming up. And if they go to the 8th end as well, they're going to be in this facility again tomorrow and the next day. So chance to, get comfortable, more comfortable with the ice, more comfortable with the rocks, comfortable with the noise, as we talked about a few times. So really, make sure that they take advantage of this last end or last 2 ends here on the ice, even if the game might feel out of reach for them.
Yeah, undoubtedly. You really want to be able to collect as much information as you possibly can. And I think all these rocks are good. Everything looks good. But getting comfortable is going to be the big one. And adjusting, like you said, Darren, that's going to be the takeaway from these last 2 ends in this feature matchup this morning. 8-1, largely out of reach, pending some sort of calamity, which I don't expect. So we'll see what Ontario does.
And interestingly enough, Ontario 2 is not back here at the RA Centre until Tuesday night. So they'll be at the Hunt Club later tonight. And then they'll be playing tomorrow against Saskatchewan over at the Hunt Club as well. So soak it up. This is where playoffs are also going to be happening too, so they want to, or most of the playoff games, so they want to, again, get used to this facility. Should mention it, I call it an arena. This is the RA Curling Center, and this is where members play at. It is a former ice pad hockey arena and now converted into a curling facility, and a great one here that they have converted.
Yeah, really a championship feel here all year long. They got this place set up to be a high-performance center as well, so lots of benefits to being a member at the RA Curling Center right now.
It's where I forget the name of it, but it was like the pre-trials were held.
The pre-trials direct entry.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, so it's an event, I believe Mike McEwen's team won that.
They did.
Here, and that was kind of this event, or this venue's debut.
Yeah, Mike made a triple at that event that went viral because it was just a dandy.
2 corner guards to start for Northern Ontario, and Ontario too has 2 rocks in the house.
So in this situation, Ontario could have elected to throw those lead stones straight through the house just to sort of mitigate traffic, but yeah, I don't hate the drawing into the house as long as they aren't, potted right behind the butt. So if you can stack them like that, then no problem. But there's an argument to saying that, yeah, maybe we'll just throw these through, but I prefer this if it was my team. Pending execution. Everything always pending execution.
There's 3 other games out here that are quite close right now, too. We have a tie 3-3 playing 7 with Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island in the men's game, as well as Quebec is up 3-2 on Saskatchewan, and then it's a 3-2 lead for New Brunswick, leading Newfoundland and Labrador. The game next door, similar to ours, it's an 8-3 lead for Alberta. That's Alberta 1 on Northwest Territories.
Not short on curling around here, that's for sure.
No. Lots of curling.
I think the hard part would be finding a seat in the stands at this rate.
I'd say they'd be cold, but they've been so lively that I don't know how they would be cold over there.
Lots of coffee.
A freeze attempt here for Northern Ontario. Going to slip deep, but if they can get it back to the back of the house, it's not too bad. Just got to stay in. There we go.
Yeah, that'll play. Ideal? No, but definitely usable.
For sure. And I think it probably misses the angle on the yellows.
Yeah, hit it thin enough. Either way, as sure as the rising sun, it's peel time for Ontario too.
He can throw a javelin. He can throw a discus. We'll see if he can throw a peel here. Time to catch it.
Darren, what I don't know about track and field could fill a warehouse.
Ty gets the peel.
No problem there. Happy to get one. I'm sure they would wanted the double, but one's fine.
Mentioned again the afternoon game here will be a women's feature of Northern Ontario taking on New Brunswick 2. The women will take to the ice at 2 p.m. Eastern. Kyle Johns and I believe Lynn Kreviazik will be calling that game. Former Canadian champion from right here in Ottawa, junior champion, world silver medalist.
Yeah, sorry about your luck, Kyle. Boy, that ever take off.
Yeah, it looked like it just lost its handle at the end.
Yeah, something funny happened there.
Drew Zettler being asked to throw the big weight on this one. Probably remove both of them and maybe lose his shooter off to the side.
Yeah, it looks spring-loaded from here. Keep it on the high side and you'll be very happy. Maybe that was a little bit too much on the high side.
Pretty good result.
Yeah, that's fine. Catch it thicker, they'll both go, but yeah, they really thin that.
update you on that barn burner on sheet I over at the Hunt Club. It's 9-4 now for Northern Ontario 2. So they were runners-up to this Northern Ontario team in their provincials. They're 9-4 lead right now in Nova Scotia 2.
Cracked open a big one, did they?
Couple steals.
That'll do it.
That team is skipped by Riley Winters at a North Bay Granite Club.
There's another great curling club.
Home of the, used to be the Jamaica Spiel. You win a trip to Jamaica in North Bay, which I'm sure some of the folks from New Lisker listening familiar with that one. I did not do well in that. Didn't make it to Jamaica in my attempts.
I was told I played in those. I don't remember.
It's now what, a summer spiel? It used to be. Yeah, it used to be a. I think it was late season. Now it's right in the summer.
Yeah, it's a great event. If you're willing to make the drive, go play that North Bay Spiel. It's a riot. They will really take care of you.
Nice shot there by Drew. Losing a back one is kind of one of the objectives of that shot, too. Keep things a little more open.
Yeah, if you're Team Ontario, you're just blasting anything in sight. You know, it really simplifies the game for them. The onus is on Northern Ontario Northern Ontario to make some moves and apply the pressure. It's an uphill climb, but nothing's impossible if you believe in yourself.
Derek Leonard, the left-hander.
Up right now. It might die there.
Start curl.
Yeah, yours.
Line good, curl.
Yeah. Just
Okay then. Line fine.
Played this shot a couple times in the fifth end.
Curl.
And similar result. Good shot. Tough shot to make. Biter behind the guard. That is lost back there. Pretty good now for Northern Ontario. You're sitting second and third, and one's lost behind the guard. The other one's partly lost behind a button guard.
That is so hard to do. Holy moly. What a shot. Certainly, it's going to change the complexion of the end a little bit now. Ontario's going to start to notice a lot of those middling biters starting to accumulate.
If we roll out, we roll out. Okay. I mean, rollout's tolerance. Obviously, overcurl is not good.
I mean, you're a miss away from getting 3.
Owen Nichols hasn't missed much this game. Trying to make it curl, but the sweepers is having a hard time hearing that. Looks pretty good, though.
Yeah, should be able to get that back, no problem.
A roll out.
Yeah, almost preferable to roll out there.
I think they're discussing potentially starting to use a bit more hand signals.
I think if we go there, he goes there.
I actually had the pleasure of curling with a couple of deaf curlers. Michael Raby was the skip, and he represented Quebec and Canada a couple times. And I do not know sign language, but we managed to make it work. And hand signals really do make it work. It's tricky because you got to lift up and look up a lot more to communicate as effectively. But once you get it established, it works miracles.
We need points, though, so...
It's because if you sit, then you can just hit ours after.
Yeah.
Because I don't...
I think either way will be...
It's just because of how...
I mentioned that too. This team from the Rideau Curling Club in Ontario here would know Brian Cochran is one as well, who uses a whistle to communicate sometimes with his team. So
yeah, I used to throw lead stones for Cash League there at the old Ottawa Curling Club for Brian, and I hear that whistle in my sleep sometimes.
And the Nova Scotia fans are erupting for a big end over there on Sheet A. And it looks like they've broken the game open against Prince Edward Island. We'll have an update on the score of that before this one ends. I think the whole island might be here.
Yeah, it's a party in here. We're a beer tent short away from being a Briar or a Scotty's.
And the other thing too is like you have, being in Ottawa, it's fairly central for a lot of these provinces to get to their fans, their family to fly or drive into for Quebec or the Maritimes. So I suspect it will only get busier as the week goes on, if it can. The fire marshal in here at some point. So another good draw, though, by Camden to go to the back of the house there. Try and use the, to some extent, use the button rock as a guard.
Yeah, really cunning move there. Love to see that. Too bad it didn't quite work out. You're almost happy to show half the stone to try to bait them into something. You know, you get Ontario thinking about a run back, or do they chase it directly? There's enough, you see enough of the stone to chase it directly, however. But that's really precise stuff.
It was a 4-ender for Nova Scotia to lead 7-3 on Prince Edward Island. Owen Nichols in his final stone without hammer in the 7th end with a 7-point advantage. Hand signals being used here by Ty.
Very animated.
Is he by the front one? He is. Great shot. Great sweep. A little nervy to call them off there too with this.
No kidding.
So a double attempt though to get 2 for Camden here.
Yeah, a little extra roll makes this double even tougher. So I'm shocked they took him off it. But yeah, have a look at this.
There he's off.
Just by you. That'll get you going in the morning. Great.
Yeah.
Really a great opportunity here to score a deuce for Northern Ontario, and more of a moral victory to make sure you can still do it.
Hamden Julian in his final stone. Facing 2 Ontario 2 counters. He's close.
Looks real good.
Snap there at the end. Has he got it? He does, and it's 2 points for the team from New Liskeard.
Attaboy, nice shot.
And it's now 8-3 after 7 ends here at the RA Centre in the U18 Canadian Championships.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Northern Ontario has narrowed the gap here in this draw 1 game for them, and it's now an 8-3 lead for Ontario 2. Andrew, they're still going to need to find some magic here in the 8th end for Northern Ontario, but Ontario also has to stay focused on keeping it clean in this final end.
Yeah, a 5-point gap is substantial, but I think the market improvement in the last couple ends that Northern Ontario has displayed is a positive sign, and it certainly more indicative of the skill set that this team brings to the ice.
Yeah, and it wasn't really a case of Ontario necessarily missing either. It was, or Ontario 2 missing either. It was Northern Ontario just, they were making so many half shots the first part of the game, and they're on their game a lot more this one. And you look at Derek Leonard, the key shot at last end, him drawing around that corner guard, fantastic shot to set it up. And then of course Camden with the double. They put up the corner guards to generate that. It was a real four-person effort in that last end to get their deuce.
Yeah, and really that last double to score the two, I think that's going to be a big takeaway for this team, especially because that's no cakewalk. That is a tough shot and required a lot of focus and all four members of this team to be on it. And when you get to post a deuce, you know, at least you say you did, and you can build on that offense.
Got a guard to start with for Northern Ontario. Ontario 2's rock coming just behind the T line. Guarded.
I think you remember back to the Ontario Tankard where Jaden King took 4 points on Mark Keane in an elimination game. So you never give up.
There was a event last season. I think Rachel Holman took a 5-ender. Or no, that was actually earlier this year. I think it was, I can't remember what event that was, but she took a 5-ender in the 8th end to tie the game.
Crazy things can happen out here.
Difference here being Ontario 2 has Hammer in the lead, so a lot of work for Northern Ontario to do, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I mean, certainly not a favorable setup for the team from Northern Ontario, but I think there's still a lot of opportunity to learn, a lot of opportunity to continue throwing. It's a long week, you know. Take your time, take everything in stride, and it'll all come together. I don't think I've ever won a provincial or a Bonspiel where I didn't get at least a little bit lucky along the way. So keep throwing and good things will happen.
Even back four. Back four. Yeah, back four.
Pretty ideal and aggressive setup here for Ontario 2. It's going to force Northern Ontario to start the ball a little bit. Normally in a steal situation, Northern Ontario would probably think, let's lump up some more guards and start cooking, but when you need 5 counters, you don't get that leeway.
Brandon Stone will come a little deep.
This stays, it's good.
Might be in play, but I'm not sure if it's in the house.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There is that little bit of area at the back there on the back line where you can be touching, but not in. It looks like it is in that realm. Probably won't be of any consequence by the time these peels start flying. Full credit for the effort, though.
Yeah. It's a little outside on this one, and Ty kind of turned it back in, but looks like Drew's able to hold the line on the sweep. It's one of them.
Yeah, really nice adjustment on the throw. Like you said, he was sliding pretty far out and got it back to the broom. That's tough to do.
About the same weight would be fine here. Back four. Okay, a little less.
All right, Northern Ontario really needs some granite in the house, so they're going to start bumping things around and stick some red in places where Ontario 2 doesn't want it. Big snap. Once it crosses the center line, fight and hold the line. Great weight. I don't think the shot changes at all here for Ontario 2. They're peeling no matter what.
We have our first final of draw 1, and it is Alberta picking up a 9-4 victory over the Northwest Territories in men's play.
And Northwest Territories team has a couple of guys who played in this thing last year, so they might be sneaky. They've got the experience. Keep your eye on them.
Quebec stealing the win there over Saskatchewan. A lot of Quebec fans in the building. You heard the cheers there.
I love the cowboy hats with the fleur de lis on it.
Derek Leonard of New Liskeard trying to prolong this one.
A little bump here for Northern Ontario would be really nice.
Good shot by Derek.
Yeah, that's great.
Really impressed by Ontario too, and Andrew, as I said, I'm really impressed by Northern Ontario and just mentally staying in this and making these shots later in the game when you might know that your odds are really stacked against you, but they've continued to make some good shots later in the game.
Yeah, and those were shots that were turning up as half shots in the first half of the game as well. So, like I said, the rebound effort and sticking with it is all the more valuable.
Sure.
You might post an L, and you know, no big deal. You carry that momentum and you move on.
You also have to look at the field and know that this Ontario 2 team looks like they are, probably going to be a playoff contender, at least early looks. And
yeah.
So building on your own success here.
Pool of 7, your top 4 make it to a championship round. So there's a lot of breathing room. One loss is not going to sink you, especially in draw 1.
The other teams in this pool: Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick 2, Quebec, and Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, a lot of contenders there. Hard to know in the U18 circuit. A lot of young curlers. Sometimes the moment gets really big for them.
For sure. Good pocket freeze there. Now, that red rock's going to take a couple rocks to get rid of.
Yeah, angles are slow. I don't want to use the word favorable for Northern Ontario, but that red rock is locked, so it's good.
But you only need to get rid of, I guess, 1 to mathematically.
Yeah.
Clean to start.
Make this one go away, and that's pretty well it. And away it does go.
So mathematically, Northern Ontario is eliminated, but they're going to keep going just to get a feel for the ice, get a feel for draw weight, and on a positive note if they can.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any actual rule that says you have to concede, but I'm fine with this. Let them play. Every rock is an opportunity to learn.
And even for both teams. I mean, Ontario take advantage of any extra rocks that you get to throw on this ice. This is where, the gold medal game would be held. This is, you're probably going to find yourself, you are going to find yourself back at this venue. Just get used to the feeling of being out here. Savor the moment.
Yeah, you only get you don't know when you're going to get to wear that crest next, and if ever again at all. So it's definitely more fun to throw with it on than not to.
Yeah, for sure. Sleeper's going on this one. Northern Ontario, I should say, remains shot rock, but Nichols can see about half that rock.
I don't know why we're even playing, but we're just
for fun, boys. We're playing for fun.
We are.
The game's supposed to be fun, remember?
Less like edge rock. Edge rock.
I don't know. I'd be licking my chops. I'm out here throwing every rock I can.
In front of a few hundred people.
Well, that too, but
did your math right, like
you're the hometown team.
A little extra mustard on this one. No mistake.
That's gone. There's one other game in play right now. It's New Brunswick with a 5-2 lead. They're up on Newfoundland and Labrador. There's not much in the house.
Yeah, slice it in.
And I should mention Newfoundland has just under 3 minutes to play that end, playing second stones.
Yeah. As hidden as possible.
Yeah.
You can find all the scores from this venue as well as the Hunt Club at curling.ca/scoreboard, and the standings there, rosters. Check out some of your feature articles coming later this week. And Andrew, you'll be writing all this week, speaking to a number of the athletes here, learning a bit more about them. You can find those articles at curling.ca, of course.
Yeah, that's a really fun aspect of these national championships is you talk about the human element and the communities that a lot of these players come from, and you know, it really is a privilege to be able to capture some of those stories. I get to share writing duties with my direct superior, Kyle Jans, this week, however. Kyle has an excellent repertoire and an excellent writer, so.
There's other activities planned throughout the week for these athletes too. They were participating in a social event here at the RA Center last night. Teams were kind of matched up as icebreakers and a chance for them to meet other players, because you never know, in 5, 10, 20 years you could find yourself curling with somebody from another province, as you see. So Owen will throw this one through, and the scoreboard will indicate one more for Ontario 2, and it will be a 9-3 final. The hometown team from the Rideau Curling Club will get off to a 1-0 start, handing a loss to the Horn Granite Curling Club's rink of Camden Julian. For Andrew Denny, I'm Darren McEwen. Thank you so much for joining us for Draw 1. We've got Draw 2 coming up at 2 p.m. Women's action, Northern Ontario, New Brunswick 2 from the U18.